My name is Stefan Arnason. I'm the winemaker at Poplar Winery here in Penticton, British Columbia. We're up on the Naramata Bench, Canada's premier wine growing region. We're hotter than the north and the central Okanagan, so we can ripen Merlot, Cabernet Franc. If you have a south-facing slope, we're not as hot as the Soyuz, so we retain a lot of more natural acidity and aromatics. What defines the fruit here on the Naramata Bench? I would say it's a more intense wine. So you have a more balanced acidity. You have more intense flavors. You lean towards more dried herb character mixed in on the reds with the black fruit character as well. The Naramata Bench is mainly west-facing with the occasional somewhat southern slope here, as you can see. What this gives, we get a really great aspect from the sunset. We get a lot longer sun exposure throughout the day. Being up on the bench allows the air to drain down. The lake is a huge moderating effect. It's like a big heat buffer there, and so we don't get the frost effects that you get in some of the other regions in the province. So it means that you get a longer growing season, longer days, cooler nights that also retain that natural acidity. So it's a very, very good spot, especially for Pinot Gris. We have Cabernet Franc planted here. We're on the Munson Mountain Vineyard at Poplar Winery, and we can ripen Cabernet Franc on this site. We're about 3 weeks behind on the Pinot Gris, difference in picking between Soyuz and here. Mid-season in the Soyuz, it'll get about 40 degrees in the vineyard. Here it will maybe hit high 30s. So in a Soyuz, we can ripen Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon, Petit Verdot. We're not able to do that yet up on the bench, but we can very well ripen Pinot Gris, Pinot Noir, Merlot. Malbec does very well up here as well, and Malbec ends up in a lot of our red blends. The Pinot Gris is looking really good. The sugars are coming along. We're going to be looking at a slightly zippier style, I think, this year in 2020, but we're also looking at a very good moderate crop, very high quality, small bunches. We're going to have lots of flavor and lots of extraction off of this. We know it's ready to pick. It starts to pick up these honey flavors. So you look at the numbers, for sure you have to have proper sugar and acid numbers and all that sort of thing, but the skins start to taste really good. And that's the honey for me is always the dead giveaway. And then that's when I know that we're really close. To make the amount of Pinot Gris that we do, it requires some large tanks. It requires lots of cooling. That's very important for the aromatics of the Pinot Gris. And it also requires a really good team of people in the winery and in the vineyard to make sure that everything happens properly. So being the size that we are, we're able to hire good people, we're able to have a really good lab set up so that we can monitor every step of the process. So that's how we're able to be consistent year to year with our Pinot Gris. As Poplar Grove has grown, we've been able to invest more in equipment and technology that have helped us to maintain the quality. I'm a BCIT food technology graduate. Quality control was one of the biggest parts of our program. You check something, you check it again, and you constantly check. Your intuition is great. Your intuition plus numbers is even better. Some new technology that we're going to implement this year in the winery, we have some beautiful diaphragm pumps, which are air-driven pumps that will allow us to move all of our must and finished wines much more gently through the winery. We've had to purchase a very large and expensive air compressor in order to run that, but it's one of our, we like to call it incremental improvements throughout the winery. All these little improvements just help make the wine better. 2020 challenges, we had a little bit of smoke, it has done nothing. It was a wet spring and we're behind. We're probably 10 days behind. Our first pick was September 22nd. That's about a week and a half later than we would normally pick our first fruit. So we have to hope that the season doesn't freeze in October, because we'll definitely be picking through November. Winemaking in the Okanagan Valley, I've seen huge improvements in the quality across the valley. It's so rare now to find a wine that's at all faulty. I think there's some real excellence in the winemaking, north to south. It's really good. The viticulture is taking off too. You're getting a lot more professionalism in the vineyards, and that's just going to drive the quality up to a world-class level. These improvements in the winemaking and the viticulture have led to international awards. We've just picked up a gold medal for our 2016 Legacy through Decanter Wine Awards, silvers on Merlot and Cabernet Franc, and I believe it was bronze on Chardonnay and Syrah, which is excellent. I mean, that's a world-class competition, and that really means something.